cents, the unwelcome 2 cents, some of the many unwelcome 2 cents to this already super polarizing, super divising case, the Karmello Anthony case. And it's amazing and sad that I find myself right now only knowing that individual. I don't know. It's still in the courts or in the opinion of the public whether he is a victim or the perpetrator. That is currently being argued. I've spent some time today, as I've had the time today, to do some research and watch various breakdowns of this particular case, which I must say, controversy. Good day, Base Girl, Seafouls, two of the best people in the world. Welcome. Bear with me as watching some prior lives, especially when I do it via the phone. I should be at my computer. I should be uploading the clips and showing you guys some of the things I've seen. But instead of showing you the breakdowns, let me see if I could wrap my head around. And I've made a couple of posts in the past couple of days, and I'd love to see, while I'm ranting and you know the topic, any opinions, Seafowls, Base Girl, and if you're not familiar, quick synopsis. Famous case. It's going down in the books, as it is already. And we've got, as you can expect, I went on social media, expressed an opinion, and boom, it's a massive dumpster fire of hatred and divisiveness. One thing I really, really do not appreciate is what I'm calling meme think. All right? It's where people encouraged by the existence of social media. What's up, Jamie? Yeah, you saw that post, and I've done a few others with the other account just to put my feet in the water, only for them to get boiled. So, one of a friend of the channel. He's been on the channel. Our friend Drew, the artist and photographer, very good photographer. He posted a meme, and the meme simplifies this case too much. He put a meme up that shows Kyle Rittenhouse and Karmello Anthony side by side, listing the similarities here, and how they both had GoFundMe, or how Rittenhouse had conservative law of protection with all the attorneys. And I find that my response was one of disappointment. I said, can we be smarter than a meme? Let's not simplify and honestly insult our own intelligence by thinking in memes. If you do that, you automatically, you're baiting yourself to think in a literal box with an amount of just small data and similarities, ignoring all nuance. Now, innocent until proven guilty. Texas does have, and I had to watch some videos that were hard to listen to because they don't align with my opinion, but I have to concede when I hear something that sounds to be more about the facts and less about the feelings that people are definitely getting up in arms about, let's accept it for what it is. What is the charge Karmello Anthony is being charged with? It's murder one. That is not likely to be the charge he's going to face once it gets to the courtroom. It is most likely not even going to be murder two. Or in the second degree, I should say. We might just see it resulting in manslaughter at best, but there's so many variables that we have all gotten that we have not gotten. I've read every single eyewitness testimony that's been made public, and there was a little clip of the brother that is going to be used in the court of law, and it's a little alarming because the brother of the victim said we. When he said we had an altercation, he just implicated that Karmello Anthony was defending himself from not one but two assailants. And I don't agree with some of the language I'm using, but I am using what I'm attempting to do. I'm a layman using the language of the law based on every breakdown I've seen from people far smarter than I, and two of which were about facts over feelings here. And side note, I watched the press conference, which was that was a shitstorm and made me feel sick to my stomach. The father went to the press conference, and it was really, if you just go past all the bullshit, it's a minister that's trying to use this case to get donations for his own pockets. 100%. If you can stand to watch about 40 minutes. First, he attacks the father of the victim. He attacks him. He provokes him after he was escorted out. He says the most hypocritical things. And guess what? I just want to point out the father left the press conference tent without poking anybody with any sharp objects. Just gonna add that part. So props to that, and restraint. So what we and there's video that has not been released to the public, and we're going to get to see that at some point in the future. We're going to have all of the T's and the I, the T's crossed and the I's dotted. We'll have a larger picture in our minds with all the information, because right now a lot of people are just going straight for their emotional gut reaction, which is just nothing great comes out of that. Nothing really useful comes out of that. All that really happens is friend versus friend, countryman versus countryman. Here we are divided. Meanwhile, so many things in the world are going on and happening. Like right now is one of the most incredible times in this country, and this case is gonna take so much attention away. And minus the white noise, like, oh god, Katy Perry and the freaking Charlie's Angels going up to space, and there's even opinions and conspiracies that that was all faked. I don't know. I don't care. It's rich people doing rich people shit. So just a lot of distractions. But I am sucked into this particular case. My feeling, my personal opinion, which has no value in the grand scheme, is that it was excessive force. He was at the tent, as we know. It's a wild time to be alive, Jamie. I know it. Um, it was excessive force. Like, that cannot be questioned unless we learn something during the trial, like the two brothers were imposing or provoking. But as it went, I mean, apparently this was a larger than just a two-sentence exchange. This was a spanned out, drawn out altercation, conflict of words, and then it was the main meat and potatoes of this altercation that we know to be true is that the Karmello was at the tent. I don't know, uninvited as far as we know. We're gonna find out more details. We already know from there. The victim, and I feel terrible that I'm forgetting his name. I'm not gonna blame the media. I'll blame my own ineptitude here. All the videos I've watched, and I can't even remember the last name, which is terrible of me. But he just said, "You don't belong here," which is true, and it is an extension of the school. So Karmello did bring a deadly weapon on school grounds, illegal. Under 18, bringing in a knife on school grounds, illegal. Now, apparently we don't know the nature of to Karmello Anthony, the one that did the excessive force. That's going to play a big part. We don't know if it was a shove, we don't know if it was a grab, or a punch. There's been so many different eyewitness testimonies and accounts that this is why we have to wait for the process. Albeit, I know a lot of us don't have faith in the process whatsoever. That's normal, especially this day and age. Who the hell is going to trust the powers that be? Or anything that comes from the media these days? So, and I want to add again, if you do take the time to watch that press conference, I hope that they look into this minister's financial history as of taking upon this case and making it his own, and the family making themselves to be out the victims, almost like they forgot who actually ended up being unalived. I can't do the YouTube language shit anymore. He was killed. The poor child was killed. The Karmello Anthony, bright student, 7.0 GPA, as if that makes a fucking difference. And then the victim, star athlete. And watching the ignorance play out on social media has been sickening. Sickening. The memes that people are making and the comparisons, they're just null and void. You're going to lose the argument, the debate, or in my opinion, if you go to the grand stage of public opinion and social media and you start showing comparisons like that, I hope you get laughed at. Everything is to be taken individually, and you learn from there. You got to do Saffron, what's up to you? So I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and please feel free to respond, because I just would love to know personally. I want to know how many people are thinking along the same lines or whatnot. Guilty or not guilty? And there's no castle doctrine when you're not at your home or at your vehicle. Those are the only legal domiciles where you can claim such an act. And something that's going to play in Karmello's favor is apparently not the fact that he asked the cops before he got Mirandized, was that self-defense, but apparently he asked if the victim was okay after stabbing him in the heart, which is a strange way to show concern. Let me poke you in the heart with this sharp object and then wonder if you're okay after I throw the evidence away and make a run for it. So that's supposed to be important from what I was told, from what I learned, looking up as much information as I can, and that apparently shows empathy or sympathy. So this is going to go into Karmello's favor. My opinion is that he should be, at the very least, guilty of manslaughter. The family went on their press conference diatribe after escorting the father of the victim, who has been pretty damn graceful about this, was not only escorted out, but the minister got to talk his shit like a bratty little YouTuber. Reminds me of some people I've met along the ways. Like a bratty little YouTuber on his own platform, making it all about him and making it all about how the family is suffering, and they've purchased, I don't know what's true or not based on the statements they've made, but the facts are the GoFundMe for Mr. Karmello Anthony, $500,000 and climbing, and allegedly purchased or is purchasing a new home, and they have security around the clock. The minister was showing printed out pages of people's postings on social media. What impact it's going to have, I have no idea. I hope it does not distract from the case in and of itself. I'm thinking the outcome is manslaughter. There's still circumstances that we're not all aware of. There's video that has not been released. So what do you think? Guilty? Not guilty? They're milking the, yeah, I mean, I would say all parties are milking this, but I'm going to say pretty confidently, based on what I've seen, it's Karmello Anthony's family that appears to be milking this for everything it's worth. I feel bad, terrible, that the family is experiencing, the world of the internet. Welcome to it, bitch. It's the Thunderdome. You have now become a polarizing, you're right there in the spotlight now. And now you are at the beck and call of the court of public opinion, and oh, by the way, the family who had a son that actually, passed on was swatted. Some asshole that is making this all about race decided to call the police and stayed on the phone for a long enough time and said that somebody had self, like, in that style. So I don't know. The intent to me is pretty clear, but again, these are just all additives of the sole issue here, which should be the case and the outcome. But in this day and age, in this world, it's never just about that. Everything has to go guilty. I'm relieved to see that, and I hope, based on what we know, I agree too. And I don't think manslaughter is enough, in my own opinion. It's just after watching so many other people that are far smarter than I talking about this and showing me screenshots and what's been put out there officially, public statements, if you will, or what the preliminary investigation and what has been done, not concluded, that has been shared. It all paints a picture, and to me, like, you get a shove. If you, because we've all been in fights in the past, right? Imagine if you got poked with a sharp object for every time you shoved somebody. Teenage boy. We shove each other. Hell, I I've seen a lot worse in my own day, okay? I was in This is not a ploy to sound cool. Me and my friends were in a fight club. We punched each other in the face for fun. Okay? So you cannot, I don't care how good of an attorney you are, you can't tell me that a shove or whatever the nature of this touch was, because it's not been made clear in any of the eyewitness accounts, because there's too many that contradict one another. One says push, grab, punch. So, and what makes the victim the aggressor is that he closed the distance after Karmello reached into a bag and said, touch me and find out what happens. But it's not a proportionate response to drive a fucking knife in somebody's chest. That's, oh, or whatever the case. I mean, if he was holding Karmello in such a way where he could not escape and he really truly feared for his life, and then plunges this into that poor kid's chest because he really feared for. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, and I'll offer the optics. The victim is a big fella, 6'1". People trying to destroy everybody's character in this, where nobody's going to win. And I also agree, Seafells. I think he's going to get off light. I think that's what we're preparing ourselves to see. It's just I hope that as a country or as a civilization, we learn to change up how we deal with these things. But that's a tall order, and it ain't gonna happen. As long as the media gonna media, we're humans will be humans, and we're going to take these things and be emotional. We're going to act emotional. We are human beings after all. We have feelings, and we somehow have to avoid the sensation that comes with that strong emotional feeling and focus on the real facts of the case in and of itself. I'm hoping that the evidence will show that Karmello was more of an aggressor than is being reported, because I truly believe that to be the case. He was technically on school grounds and he brought a knife under the age of 18. These are all illegal, but that is still apparently not provocation. I bet they try to hit him weapons charge, and oh God, imagine if he's only charged with unlawful carry of a deadly weapon instead of the act of ending someone's life. It's just sad, and nobody's gonna win, and this is just another blemish on America and all the hatred that's been put into every side of this, regardless of who you think is being more rational about it. We're all taking a big L, and we're just being shown to be, we're being shown to the world how just, I think, like we're like a boiling pot right now, and anything that dangles in front of us like some keys, we're like, oh, look at that, I want to burn it down. And that's how it just appears. And going through different algorithms, different profiles, people with their different opinions, there's just no shortage of people that I see one dissenting comment, the shitstorm begins. How can we prove to one another and ourselves somehow that we can maintain some public discourse without resulting to pure emotional responses, like we're not literally or figuratively stabbing each other in the chest digitally every time we just dissent from whatever the main headline of a post is? It's sad to me. He made a threat before the act. So here's what I've learned because I spent a couple hours on this. Welcome. Because I'm only venting about this so long, and I wanted to do this from my computer and show some clips. But okay, so it apparently, from how it's been interpreted, based on all of the people I've watched that have read all of this, they're taking him reaching in the bag and saying, touch me and see what happens, not as provocational language. I hope I am wrong. I hope you're right. Truly. I agree with your statement that it was a threat. But some experts and people that used to be investigators and lawyers and all that are saying the state of Texas, that was a warning and not a threat. A warning and not a threat, which is maybe a little crazy to me. That's where hopefully we'll see some attorneys get into a legitimate cross-examination that helps this come to light for what the fuck I think it really is. It sounds like a threat to me, too, but looking at just go ahead and listen to, or maybe I'll share some of the pages or the YouTubers that have been going through this case, and we got a hold of far more documents than I did. I read about 25 different eyewitness accounts, which is still preliminary. This is the early stages of the investigation, so there's so much information we have not been offered, and there's the video that nobody's seen. Angel, hey, Angel Wings, welcome. Good to see you. And I responded, as a guy who could have found himself in this situation, I'd take that statement as a threat. I hope that that is used as to, I don't want it to be thrown up and then everybody's just like, how do you interpret this? We're going to have to listen to the eyewitnesses that not only gave statements, but go and stand at the bench and say what they must say, or at the stand, I should say. Just one little clip that I never saw before that honestly made me a little nervous about how this is going to go down. The Stabber's parents, they took time in that press conference after shitting all over the family who lost a child to say we haven't received a dime of the well over $500,000 that has been raised for this individual, which is insane to me. But it would be hypocritical of me to be outraged. It's not the first time something like this has happened, and even though I'm not going to take the bait of people I've spoken to already, a video I want to see just dropped. People keep throwing memes and saying, look what happened with the Trayvon Martin case, look what happened in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. This is no different. Fuck off. There's a huge difference. Everything has individual nuance. Every case is unique, just like every person is unique in some way, shape, or form. And you know that to be true. Not in a grand statement, I mean individually. As an individual, if you look at humanity, everybody has something fucking unique. If you're old enough and you made it this far in life, you know that to be the truth. So bear that in mind. And this case is no different. Look at this case like a human being, and know that there's going to be flaws and things that we disagree with, but I know how I think right now, but I have to convince myself, no matter how angry I am, especially when I hear things I don't agree with or that even trigger an emotional response, I have to allow some opening that says we don't have all the information, wait until it is received, then you can come to the conclusion, and then we'll see. This is like O.J. Simpson shit, point 2.0, like a prequel, like a lesser version, but no less polarizing. I don't know. I mean, the way social media's algorithm is playing, this appears to be one of the biggest things outside of people really, really going hard in the paint about the space travel, where they barely left the atmosphere, being real and or fake. As I've mentioned earlier in this video, a lot of distractions, a lot of white noise. I encourage people to try to stay not single-minded, but at least keep your attention focused where it matters, when it matters, so that you have a keen and sharp mind and you're able to absorb new information as it comes and possibly even change your mind. And that's where I'm saying I'm at. I'm not preaching I know what is and what will be. I'm preaching a gospel called I don't know, quote unquote. I don't know everything, so I can't stand here and make my own judgment, as that is not my position, that is not my place. But as somebody that's just a citizen of this country that has the First Amendment, I will say I do believe Karmello is guilty, and I hope it is stronger than manslaughter, and I hope it doesn't get reduced to just carrying a deadly weapon. I hope he doesn't just get probation. I hope he doesn't just get 2 years. It would be kind of devastating to me, because I think so many people are forgetting the loss of life. And oh my god, the misinformation and disinformation is absolutely sickening. There's been videos spread, and just the ignorant, I almost want to call them boomers, but me not being so young anymore, it is easy to fall for things. There was a video circulating of some unrelated altercation where they're now trying to make it look like they've had a beef in the past. Although I just learned on Nancy Grace that apparently there were through this investigation we've learned that may have been something, but it's so flimsy I can't actually say what that something is. This is why we have to agree to wait and to make a real final consensus here. The consensus here, let's see, awarding money, right? No, nope. In the first three words, I already see the truth. Awarding money to crazy incidents only incites other crazy events to take place. Yo, truer words, man. Spoken right there, 100%. Crowd, man, please, by all means, feel free to let me know when you go live, or I'll turn on my notifications. I don't know how often you do in the grind, man, but keep it up. C-Fouls, man, we got to do another collab. I was wondering about that, too. See, what did I miss? I'm just confused why he went into the tent. Yep, that has not been established yet, or it has not been released yet. So what we know for a fact, taking emotions out entirely. Oop, I just did this. Doesn't that mean I'm on a watch list now? Somebody gonna try to cancel me? I'm not worth canceling. Come on, look at the count here. I gotta do more shit from the computer though. Okay. Oh, by the way, my job interview went amazing. And less about me, more on the topic I put in the damn description here. So yeah, I think I've said everything that needs to be said here. We know everybody's just overly emotional. I think it was way too preemptive to throw so much damn money where they're in a position to hire private security, although maybe it's probably needed. But also the victim's family, they're getting swatted and shit. Just nobody has any boundaries, man. No boundaries, completely uncaring. They just want to see a W for their own ego and their own think tanks, their own echo chambers. Nobody wants to learn anything anymore. They're so desperate not to learn at the risk of being wrong. And that's what's wrong with just about everything this day and age. Corrupt cutting it like a bee. Oh shit, no kidding. Let me see. I've been getting back to getting on here a lot more lately. I so have been, this is a dead horse on my end. I'm forever busy, caretaker of my mother still. That's always going to be the case. Aside from that, though, right now I'm on my own side grind and looking for a new main grind, and I'm waiting on a callback from, was it yesterday's interview, which went amazing. Your boy is getting a manager spot if I get this position. Base is far too kind. Base Girl is one of the kindest people I've ever met, one of the brightest souls. Some of the people I've met through here, this is the only reason, like, I've made this little sentence that simplified everything for me, that makes me continue to come back here. I don't care about seeing high numbers on that little view count or whatever the fuck. I care about seeing the people that I've learned to care about. Something that bothers me getting into my own shit, as I often do, because, I've been called a narcissist in the past, and clearly I have no sympathy or empathy, is that I've found myself at times with maybe, and I appreciate the support from everybody, but I am a very self-absorbed fella, and I'm always going through some kind of struggle. There's no mental illness excuse I can offer, but there's a lot of people that try to reach out, and I often get overwhelmed easily, especially when I feel like not all my ducks are in a row, and in this right now in the position I'm in where I'm comfortable and doing side things. I'm still trying to fix one major thing for myself personally. But outside of that, I think I've said what I need to say about the case. Please, what would make my day all the brighter? And you have the power to actually have some impact on somebody else's life. That's who knows how far away, just through this screen. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the case. Offer information or just an opinion that is fleshed out pretty good, so I can get an understanding of how you're thinking or what you're thinking about. And amen to that. Yeah. I haven't met a single person with all their ducks in a row. In this day and age, I sound like such a boomer beyond here. I think social media is just the opportunity to appear like you have everything you've ever wanted, but you don't. You just want people to think that you do. Social media is a way to make a false portrait of oneself and shine it up to everybody you've ever known in your life or to strangers and say, hey, look how amazing things are from my end of the spectrum in life. And everything's hunky dory. It's given us a complete false sense of identity. Social media is a parasite. Excuse me. It's a parasite. It's a bane. But let's continue to try to use it for good. Just like, Krupp and C. Fowles and, Saffron, who's just been. Saffron, you've been around for a while. I just want to continue to reiterate my appreciation for you. And that's that. And I do have ducks, okay? I have a blocked duck right now who I keep saying, I'm going to unblock you, but I never quite do. Maybe one day I'll act on that. But until then, okay, I've said what I said. Clearly, it's challenging for me to just hit the off button or the end button, but I think I will. Let's see about, and I will make an announcement about the job. And I have been talking to Josh about doing a collaboration or guesting on his show or bringing the old show back that got me started on this journey in the first place. Or I'll just do a Progressive Patriot Live C-Files. All you got to do is say the word if you want to do a collab. Krupp, you got some people in your community, God bless them, that I don't know how they feel about me in the present, but years ago there may have been a falling out, which I don't give any shits about. But yeah, I was reluctant to actually say something in one of your lives because I saw about three names and I was like, oh, I'm sure they'd. I'd love to see a reaction, but I don't want to distract from what you're attempting to do on your own shit. So I didn't want to overstep. So you've been asking me. Okay, well, I mean, I was waiting to see a text. Oh, you didn't? I think your last text was like, yeah, man, we should do something sometime. All right, get her done. Hey, if you want to do something tonight, just let me know in the text. Just say, yeah, man. Because as of right now, I have an open schedule. I'm just selling comic books from my home and looking for probably the best last job I'll ever have to look for. I don't even know if I want this position because the responsibility is heavy, but the pay would be fantastic, and I'd be doing 50-hour weeks here. All right, that's enough about me. I think I've talked about the case. Base Girl, that was then. Yes, and I hope everybody thinks just that way, Base Girl. I hope they're not locked in the past. Appreciate that, though, man, but most people know that any harassing will not fly in my chat. Appreciated, man. I've learned through social media, though, you gotta have that thick skin. You can't come on here and not expect some hate or somebody that can't get over whatever has happened in the past. C'est la vie, such is life. To each and every one of you, though, I thank you, and make sure, at the very least, you give a gift to yourself. Hug a loved one. Take care. In the meantime, appreciate you. Much love to you, Base Girl. Much love to all of you that I've known for so damn long. I'm grateful for that. Take care for now. Let's see what the outcome is. Who knows how long it will take this case to close.